Hi, Standard 9. How's it going with your Julius Caesar? Good. I hope your results have been good. If not, please work more hard, read your text more often so that you are able to capture Shakespearean language in its true sense. So let's continue with Act 2, Scene 2. Please open your textbooks. We begin by reading the synopsis of the scene. Supernatural elements play an important role in this scene. Caesar has been disturbed by the storm. California too has a dream that Caesar's statue has been spouting blood. Caesar is shaken by the ominous signs of his wife's dream, and he asks the priests, that is the augurers, to sacrifice a beast and to study its entrails. Okay, now the priests over here are the augurers, you are aware of that, and I had given you a note on that in my module on scene 1, explaining to you that the augurers were priests who interpreted omens. The College of Augurs was 16 in number, and they were the people who actually had the priesthood. They had special skills, and that they would be able to interpret the language of the gods just by the inspection of what they sacrificed and the flight of the birds. The detailed note has been given in detail in scene 1 module. You can go through that. So Caesar asks the priest to sacrifice a beast and then read the beast after sacrificing it so that he would know what has happened. Now these augurers, children, they would never tell you about the future. All that they would do is that they would just tell you about the what to do or what not to do. That was the only thing that they would speak about. Okay. So California tries to persuade Caesar not to go out. This is a synopsis of the entire scene. At first, Caesar yields to her persuasion. At this juncture, Decius Brutus enters. Now you will remember Decius Brutus was one of the conspirators. And when Cassius was talking, when Cassius said he was not sure if Caesar would come to the Capitol today, it was Decius Brutus who had said that I will ensure that Caesar comes to the Capitol. Okay, that has been given to you in scene 1, line 203. Could you please check that, children? I'm also checking. Yes, it's given in line 203, where Decius says, never fear that if he be so resolved, I can oversway him. See the line before that, line 200, where Cassius is speaking, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the Capitol today. So Decius says, never fear that if he be so resolved, I can oversway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns can be betrayed with trees and all that. Okay, so Decius Brutus enters at this time when Caesar tells his servant to go to the priests, to the augurers, and ask them what they can read from the sacrificed beast. Okay. He appeals to Caesar's vanity, means Caesar's pride, and hints that the senators will ridicule Caesar's excuse with laughter. He interprets California's dream in a flattering manner, and finally Caesar allows himself to be escorted to the scene by the conspirators, to the Senate by the conspirators. The conspirators have laid a perfect trap for him, and Caesar has walked right into the trap. So scene 2 begins with, in Rome, in Caesar's house. Thunder and lightning. You'll remember there is a storm that is going on. So thunder and lightning. Enter Caesar in his nightgown. Caesar, no heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath California in her sleep cried out, help, ho, they murder Caesar. So Caesar is very worried. He has got up in the middle of the night around 3 o'clock, and he is saying that neither heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight, because why has heaven not been in peace tonight? Because there is a storm going and all that we read in the last scene, that there was a terrible storm and all. And he is saying that even California, who is his wife, she has cried out 3 times in her sleep that help, somebody help, they are murdering Caesar. So he is very disturbed by hearing what she has to say. Now this word thrice is very important over here, because the number 3 was considered to be a number which signifies, or which was associated with magic and mysticism. Okay, so he is very worried about that. And then he's calling who's within, means who's there within. So enter a servant. My lord, Caesar, go bid the priests to present a sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success. Means he's saying go to the priest and tell them to make a sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success. Means observe the victim, means observe the beast that has been sacrificed. Observe its entrails, observe its body parts once it has been sacrificed, observe the flame of the sacrifice, and tell me what exactly the priests have to say. Now you must remember that these augurers or these priests, they never foretold the future. All that they did was to tell the person concerned that you should do this, you should not do this. But they would not tell anything about the future. Okay. So the servant exit. Okay, enter California. California. What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. So California is really disturbed because of her dreams, and she comes and she almost scolds Caesar. She chides him and she tells him, what do you think you're doing? You think you're going to go out today? You're not going out anywhere. Caesar shall forth. So Caesar is saying, I refuse to listen to you. I am Caesar and I will go out. The things that threaten me never looked but on my back. So he's saying that anything which wants to threaten me has the courage to only threaten me behind my back. The minute I turn my face and the minute I look at them, means the minute they see, when they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished. So as soon as I turn about and I give them a look, they will just vanish. So nothing can threaten me and I'm going to go out. Okay. California. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies. Stood on ceremonies means I never paid any attention to any of the omens that have been happening so far. Yet now, that means today I am frightened about these omens. There is one within, means there is one person within our people who are working for us. There is one person within. Besides the things that we have heard and seen. So she's saying that we have been seeing the storm, we have heard a lot of the things about the storm, but there is one person in our palace who has been talking to the night watchman, and that night watchman has given him certain reports about what has happened on the streets. Okay, so the night watchman has seen horrid sights. And what are these horrible sights that the night watchman has seen? A lioness had whelped in the streets. Whelped in the streets means given birth in the streets. Graves have yawned and yielded up their dead, means graves have opened up and the dead people have come out of the graves. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. So he's saying in the skies there has been a war going on in the skies, and in this war, when they were clashing with their swords and all their arms and weapons, at that time blood was dripping from the heavens. And where was this blood falling? It was falling on the Capitol. The noise of the battle hurtled in the air, means they were fighting so furiously that we could hear the noise of their weapons. Okay, horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use. Beyond all use means they are very unusual. Please do not go out. And I do fear them. I am very scared of these unusual things. You please don't go out. That is what he has told. California is telling Caesar. Children, I want you all to mark numbers as to what are the things that California has said, which the night watchman has seen and he has reported to somebody inside the palace, and that palace has told, and that person inside the palace has told California. So what has he said? The first thing, a lioness had whelped, means given birth. A lioness, that is the first thing. Graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Third thing, fierce fiery warriors have fought upon the clouds and all that. Then the fourth thing is the noise of the battle. Okay, hurtled in the air. Fifth thing is horses have neighed. Horses have been neighing loudly. And dying men were groaning. So people who were dying were literally groaning. And Ghosts did shriek. So all the ghosts were screaming and shouting, and that is what the ghosts were doing about the streets. Okay, so there are these 7 things that has been reported. Please remember that 7 things have been reported. Caesar, what can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? So Caesar is now trying to explain to California. He's saying that if the gods have decided something, you cannot avoid it. So what can be avoided if the gods have decided something? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar. So he is saying that, look, California, if you are scared of these predictions that have happened and whatever signs and omens that you have seen, it's not only for me, Caesar. It is for everybody. It is for the world in general. So I am going to go to the capital. I am not going to stay at home. California, when beggars die, there are no comets seen. So she's saying that when beggars die on the roads, you don't see comets. Okay, comets are heavenly meteors. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. So she's saying such unusual things don't happen when beggars on the road die. It is only when princes or kings or somebody of importance is dying that the heavens themselves send out these signs. Please write a meaning over there. See, the Romans and the Elizabethans. Please take down this note. The Romans and the Elizabethans believed that comets, the Romans and the Elizabethans believed that comets foretold the death of kings and men in position. Okay, full stop. Plutarch is a Roman historian. Okay, Plutarch mentions that a great comet. Plutarch is a historian who has made note of history, of the Roman history. So Plutarch mentions that a great comet, very bright, was seen for 7 nights after Caesar's death. So Caesar was that great a personality who was assassinated by these people. Okay, so that's it. Then Caesar. Cowards die many times before their death. So Caesar is saying a person who is a coward, he will die in imagination 100 times, many times before they actually face death. Okay, the valiant never taste death, only once. So the person who is valiant will die when he dies. He does not die in his imagination. Of all the wonders I have yet heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. So Caesar is saying, I am most surprised and I am most shocked that people are so afraid of death, because death is a necessary end. Death is going to come when it will come. So what is the sense of getting scared? That is what Caesar says. You can learn this paragraph by heart. You can use it for quoting. Please write learn by heart next to it. Enter servant. What say the augurers? Now Caesar is asking the servant, what did the augurers tell you? So the servant is giving a report. The servant is saying, they would not have you to stir forth today. So the augurers have sent a clear message to Caesar that do not leave your house today. Plucking, why? Now the observation. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth means a beast that they sacrificed. They could not find a heart within the beast. So the beast that was sacrificed, they were not able to find a heart within that beast. Okay. So Caesar, the gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. So Caesar is saying that the gods have sent a message that if Caesar does not go to the capital today, then he will be like a beast without a heart. This is Caesar's interpretation, that he is a coward and he has no heart, and therefore he is not willing to go out to the capital. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. So now Caesar is personifying danger, and he's comparing himself to danger. In the next lines, we'll find that, okay? He's saying, we are two lions littered in one day. Means we are both lions. Who? Danger and me, Caesar. We are both lions. We are born on the same day. And I, the elder and more terrible. I am the elder one. Who is saying this? Caesar is saying. He is elder than whom? He is elder than danger. Danger has been personified. So he is saying, I am the elder one. I am more terrible. And above all, I am Caesar. Caesar means fearless. Okay. So Caesar shall go forth. I want you all to write down a note that explains what Caesar says this. Please write it down. What is the question that you could be asked is, what was Caesar's interpretation of the sacrifice? What was Caesar's interpretation of the sacrifice? Caesar says that the sacrificial beast is without a heart, because the gods want to shame cowardly men. Full stop. He says he will be like a beast without a heart. He will be like a beast without a heart. That is a coward. He says he will be like a beast without a heart. That is a coward. If he stays at home due to fear. Full stop. So he will go to the capital. Full stop. Caesar personifies danger. Full stop. He says that he and danger are like twin lion cubs. Born on the same day. And he being the elder, he means Caesar, he being the elder is more terrible. So 2 points, elder and terrible. And Caesar, into brackets, you can write fearless. So he's saying, I will go. Okay. Note here that Caesar's pride and real courage struggle against his fear, and by boastful language he endeavors to create in himself the feeling of confidence. That is what I want you all to note, okay? So you can put that in brackets. You don't need to write this when you are writing the interpretation of the sacrifice that Caesar has seen. You must write this, what I am continuing. When speaking to Mark Antony in Act 1, Scene 2, line number 210 and 211. When speaking to Mark Antony in Act 1, Scene 2, lines 210, 211, he says, he's talking to Mark Antony. He says, I rather tell thee what is to be feared, inverted commas. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Caesar, into brackets, if you remember, I had made you write the meaning over here. Caesar means the fearless. So that is what he has said over here. Okay. So I am Caesar the fearless. That is the interpretation of his dream. What I gave you from note that, you can put in brackets, it's just for you to remember. From note that up to confidence, because I'm going to refer it in the next answer. Okay. So that is for you to note. Now California. Your wisdom, alas my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. So California is very sad about it and she says, no, I am very sad my lord. Your wisdom, your brains, your thoughts, your wiseness has been overpowered by your overconfidence. Do not go forth today. So she's literally begging him that please do not go forth today. Call it my fear. She's saying you can tell the people, you can tell the Senate that I am afraid. Don't tell you are afraid because you are fearless. So say call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house. We'll send whom? Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this. And she bends down, just like if you remember what Portia had done to Brutus. Same thing California is doing to Caesar. And she's saying, let me bend down and tell you that please do not go forth. If you want, we can give a reason to Mark Antony. We'll call Mark Antony and tell him to go and tell at the Senate house that you are not well. Because of my fear, I'm not letting you go. Don't blame it on yourself. That is what California has to say. Caesar. Mark Antony shall say, I am not well, and for thy humor, I will stay at home. So he's saying, okay. Mark Antony will say, I am not well, and just for your sake, my dear wife California, I have decided that I will stay at home. So this is what Caesar has agreed to, and he says that, okay, I will stay at home, but he is so proud that he doesn't want to say that I am scared or I am superstitious. For your humor, I will stay at home. This is what Caesar has agreed to, and we will stop our module over here so that you can go through this, because even though I have covered a very small portion, I have given you lots of notes over here. I want you all to read the notes, to understand the notes, so that the rest of the scene is easier for you to understand. Otherwise, we'll just be talking and talking, which will make no sense. So please read, and see you all again in the next module. Bye.